Okay. Hello, everyone. I'm Daniel, and I'm really thrilled to introduce my good friend Kumara. You know him from years, mentor, teacher in the School of the Heart, and a close associate friends of Dramvalo, and Dr. Staci from LifeWave. LifeWave, a leader in phototherapy technology. I just want to say, I think I remember somewhere 2005, Dramvalo has been discussing the benefits of this technology at his workshops. And since then, we are dreaming to have such a wonderful technology in our hands. Before we start, I just want to remind everyone, the insights we share today are not medical claims. Always, please consult your doctor before trying new health practices. And remember, you are in charge of your own health and well-being. Just a couple of things, and then I will let Kumara and Dr. Staci to speak about. LifeWave has been pioneering phototherapy for over 20 years and holds more than 100 patents worldwide. Phototherapy or photobiomodulation involves specific wavelengths of light on the skin to stimulate nerves and elicit a biochemical response. And this is the foundation, actually, of this innovative approach, which uses these non-transdermal patches to activate DNA and giving this without any external biochemical inputs, by the way. I personally use all the X39, X49, YH, and Alavida, right? I feel significant benefits. For instance, using X39 patch can immediately, and it happened to me, boost my antioxidants and reduce inflammation, right? And gave me a noticeable increase in energy, reducing fatigue during the day. I want to say important factors like diet, exercise, water, a lot of water helps. So I'm excited to let Kumara and Dr. Stacy to speak about it.
Thank you, Daniel. It's actually it was really exciting for me to hear from you when you told me, "Hey, I tried the X39 at night and I didn't sleep." I know this is legit. I'm like, I know it's so good. And actually, I just got back last week from South Africa. That's a 24-hour flight. That's not counting the stopovers. It's
Crazy.
really long. However, because of X39, X49, Aeon, um, as well as energy enhancers, I did not experience any jet lag going to and coming back home. I know it works. I don't know how it works, but this is where Dr. Stacy hopefully can kind of explain how that actually all happened for me as well as you. Dr. Stacy, thanks for joining us.
Thank you, Kamara. Thank you, Daniel, as well. I'm excited to be here and share with you all.
Thanks. Yeah, and
So
so how did that actually occur? Like I'm not too sure exactly what happened in my body. Yeah, I have energy. Yes, I slept well on the plane. No matter what external outputs were bombarding me, which is like I know on the planes there's a lot of radiation, there's a lot of noise. You're crowded, you're in other people's fields. That's something I really want to highlight. There's a lot of people traveling now these days. It's become so prolific. Where going onto a plane used to be such a huge deal, it's no longer a big deal anymore.
no, it's definitely not. I'm on a plane at least once or twice, sometimes 3 times a month, going different places. So, we are all very different in our body, physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually. So we do all have different experiences with the things that we do, right? And so when you're using this technology, if your viewers haven't seen it, it looks like this. It looks like a little round Band-Aid. And as Daniel mentioned, it is non-transdermal. It is a wearable light technology, and we call that phototherapy or photobiomodulation, which means light creating change in the body. And so for you specifically on the plane, you know, the combination of patches that you used, maybe in the timing you were using them, helped your body to be able to adjust and adapt to resetting that circadian rhythm. I know you had mentioned 24 hours in the plane, not to mention, you know, stops and whatnot. It's a long time. And I've experienced this myself too. I travel quite a bit to Europe. And so I have experienced the same thing, using my patches according to the time zones and making sure that I'm taking them off when I need to. And of course, you're working with the nervous system always. Right. And you mentioned Aeon, and Aeon is a patch that balances the nervous system. And so that's really important when you're looking at anything in our day-to-day life. We are bombarded by things that can cause, you know, stress and anxiety, fear, worry, and, you know, anxiousness. And so Aeon's going to bring that nervous system down into balance for you. It can help you to relax. It's time to get a little siesta on the plane or at home, right? To be able to shut the mind off a little bit and be able to, you know, just rest for that time period that you are. The X39 is different in that that patch is actually going to increase your energy, right? Elevating different peptides in the body. Each patch works differently. And so we do see increase in energy and different components when you look at the brain and the heart and inflammation and being able to keep that body into balance really on a DNA level. You know, we don't talk much about this, but we know that this patch actually is responsible for resetting a third of our genes and getting them back to their young, youthful state. And I don't know if you've been on a plane when they're babies, but sometimes they're crying and take off and then it's like, right, they're out. And you're like, whoo, they're out. And then you don't hear a word from them until you land again, right? And then they're like, wee, you were ready to go. And they're not missing a beat. And so if you kind of think back to, you know, some of your genes, over 4,000 of them being able to go back to that state, that could be a little bit of an explanation as well as why you were able to just to soar, you know, halfway across the world and, you know, do what you did and then take off and come back. Same thing, you know, with your body being able to adapt. Okay. And I know you've been patching for several months now. So you've been able to experience some of the compound effects of this technology. This is not a one patch and everything is, you know, amazing and that's all you need. It definitely builds on itself over time. We see that happening. And what other patch did you say you used besides X39 and Aeon?
X39 Aeon, X49. I know that to my recall, it's actually really good for mitigating EMFs on the
Yes.
cellular level.
Yeah, I thought you said 49. I wanted to make sure. So when we put 39 and 49 together, they form a Faraday cage. And so for those of us that are here, you know, on the earth walking around every day, what do we notice? Well, we notice over time that that helps to, of course, you know, keep us, you know, safe from the harmful rays of EMFs and, you know, radiation and whatnot, but also from the sun. We find that our skin goes to a place where it can absorb the rays of the sun that are needed, utilize that for vitamin D, melanin, whatnot, and be able to block out naturally those harmful rays from the sun to be able to help us stay that, you know, the golden tan color is what keeps you from burning, right? It keeps your skin young and youthful. And so we find over time using 3949 that it has that benefit as well too. But if you're up in the air or whatnot, of course, to help block from those toxic rays, or if you have your phone in your hand or close by, all of those benefits are seen with 3949. Did you use glutathione by chance?
I did, yes.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so when we look at being exposed to radiation, when we look at being on airplanes, as you mentioned, like I said, I fly a lot. So the airports are not, you know, sparse looking places. They are packed full of people. You're looking around, you're going, we have no issue with abundance here. These people are flying like crazy, right? Hundreds and thousands of them in these airports every day. And so we're of course coming in contact with people. They're sneezing as they're walking by. They're touching things after they haven't washed their hands. I think they forgot all about good, healthy hygiene and habits, a lot of them. So when we use our glutathione, that's going to actually elevate our own glutathione level over 300%. And a lot of us, of course, because we are, aware of this, we make sure that we patch our glutathione on top of our X39 and Aeon on the planes, just because you're in compressed air with people. For you, it was just 24-hour period of time. And so being able to help your immune system, whether it be the radiation or the bugs in the air or whatever it may be, the handles on the bathroom doors, I mean, you have to go. So you're being exposed to a lot of things, and being able to protect your immune system and keep it elevated with the glutathione is really important. We do know X39 elevates your glutathione about 30%, but the patented technology that's in our glutathione patch elevates your own over 300. And actually, even if you take it off after 12 hours, it sustains that elevation for a 24-hour period. So that gives you 24-hour coverage of an increased level of your own glutathione. So not putting glutathione in the body, not through the patch. It's actually activating a peptide with a wavelength of light. Glutathione is a tri-peptide. So keeping that elevated in your body would, of course, support your immune system and overall protection of all things while you're flying.
Wow, thanks for that. And also, because of how you've explained it, it conjured up thoughts of sports-minded people, people who need a lot of stamina. So can you speak a little bit more into that about, people who are doing a lot of sports activities, injuries? I guess that would be the carnosine that can get involved.
Yeah, absolutely. So X39, 49, those are mother-daughter peptides. X39 elevates GHK, X49 elevates AHK, and the A stands for alanine. So think lean muscle mass, right? Bones, strength, stamina, endurance. So when you put the two together, we find exponential benefits with our muscles. When we test our people in our studies for grip strength, bicep strength, their quad strength, looking at their core strength, we can see huge jumps versus if you use them individually. We also look at bone density, increasing bone density, and we look at oxygenation, circulation, recovery, reduction of inflammation. And so those are very important for our athletes, those two patches for sure, 39, 49. And reduction of body fat, which is always nice, especially for those of us that age. Some of us are aging, some of us are not, some of us are reverse aging. I've been patching for 3 years, so I'm in the reverse aging category. I'll be celebrating my 50th birthday this year. Looking at the biomarkers, they're showing
Wow.
half that age. So I'm super grateful for these patches and this technology over the last 3 years. But looking at other patches for athletes, of course, Aeon, you mentioned Aeon, right? And Aeon reduces inflammation. If you're an athlete, well, if you're a human, you have inflammation, right? Unfortunately, all those EMFs and our food, our water, and everything has things that can contribute to inflammation. And as clean and healthy as we can be. But when you look at injuries in sports, right, recovery and those types of things, we want to bring the inflammation in the body down. And Aeon does that nicely. The other thing that you mentioned is carnosine. And carnosine's been around for a long time. It is a di-peptide, similar to glutathione being an antioxidant, being one that we, of course, have decline in our body as we age. So when we use carnosine, we elevate our own carnosine level. And that di-peptide loves to hang out, similar to the 49, in our muscles. So it helps with the lean muscle mass, recovery, helps with ligaments, tendons, tissues. Think of tissue repair. And so it's a really powerful patch for that, but it does a lot more than that, honestly. It is amazing for the brain. So if you want to talk about improving all your executive functions, you want to talk about processing time, the quickness, the mental acuity, it's incredible in balancing the left brain, right brain hemisphere. Not to mention what it does for the organs. It's very reparative for those organs as well, too. So love carnosine.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for that.
Kumara, we
What's
need
that?
that one. Kumara, we need that one, me and you.
Yes, and it's actually refreshing that we're all in our 50s. I've got 2 years ahead of Dr. Staci, and I think Daniel, you're 50 something. You're
Don't
not
mention.
gonna say.
I look like the father of Dr. Stacy, so don't mention, please.
Well, the anti-aging thing, I'd like to bring that up too, is the Alavida, right? If you could speak more into that, because the first time I actually experienced Alavida was not the patch. It was actually the new eye cream that came out that you actually sent me. So thank you for that. I
You're
love
welcome.
it. My skin has changed. My face had, I had some dry spots around the nose,
Mhm.
gone. Within 3 days, gone. Because I
Wow.
had eczema there. It's no longer there.
Nice. Yeah. So the Alavida, let's just really quickly address that. So the eye cream has GHK in it. You know, I said the X39 elevates GHK. Well, that eye cream actually has GHK in it. So it's a topical anti-aging, or as we like to say with LifeWave, reverse aging. Okay, so we're not just anti-aging, we're actually reverse aging. And we can see that from our clinical studies. When you look at people's functionality in their organs and in their systems, if you stay consistent with patching, we will reverse the functionality of your organs and systems. We can see that. So looking at the Alavida patch, that patch is created for the skin. That's what we initially marketed as your anti-aging or reverse aging for the skin. Lines, spots, wrinkles, sagginess, crepiness. None of us have any of that. Moles, scars, internal scars. You know, we have so many people that have had surgeries and things are just bound tight inside. And so it helps to release that. But honestly, Alavida is a reverse aging patch because of what it does on the inside of the body. That's why we see what we do on the outside. And that is to reduce oxidative stress. And we know oxidative stress, if you picture an apple tree, the apple, you see it, you go pick it, you eat it, it's amazing. The apple falls right in front of you. You're going to pick it up and eat it. It's incredible. If that apple's been laying there on the ground for 7 days, you're not touching it. And that's what your cells look like when they're under oxidative stress. And that's a situation on the inside that sets you up for a disease process. So reducing oxidative stress, inflammatory stress is another huge benefit of Alavida. Aging is an inside job. And so what happens on the inside is a direct reflection on the outside. The other thing I do want to mention with Alavida is the benefit of the organs. We can see, you know, pituitary, of course, it's activating a peptide in the pineal gland, hypothalamus, looking at, you know, reproductive organs and other organs in our body that we see great benefits from them. So it's not just let's all look better. It's really about the inside and what you feel on the inside. That is that reflection on the outside.
Thank you for that. It does hold true. Is when you it's like a tree or a plant. When it's diseased on the branches, it's diseased in the root
Mm-hmm.
on the inside, as above, so below. So that's really a really interesting thing that we do talk about. Well, I talk about when I teach heart imagery is so within it as it's throughout as well, because whatever's going on inside is going to express on the outside. The first time I experienced that was when I know that I've had a weak liver, and it expressed on my skin.
Mm.
But now that my skin is actually, when I was a teenager, I had eczema on the sides of my nose. And now all of a sudden gone at the age of 51. Like,
Mm-hmm.
that's pretty wild. So, yeah, thank you for that. And thanks for all your explanations. Daniel, do you have any other questions? I know we have about 4 minutes left.
Listen, I am thrilled. I'm listening to all these things, and it's a dream because I remember my workshops in the 1990s. We're talking about these things like it was a fantasy, a science fiction movie, you know. So now it became reality. So maybe a couple of words. I remember I saw something I didn't try. I tried X39, X49, Aeon and Alavida. I didn't try the energy enhancer, the silent nights, and Nirvana mood enhancer. By the way, I don't believe we have in Canada this one, but maybe in 2 3 minutes you can. I think you said almost everything about LifeWave. So you say a couple of words about this would be
Sure.
perfect.
Okay, so energy enhancers daytime, silent nights is nighttime, obviously. Energy enhancer, yes, 2-patch system, tan on the left, white on the right. That is going to trigger a process in the body called beta oxidation, which means turns body fat into fuel. And so that patch is two-patch system is incredible for giving you energy and stamina endurance. That's actually the first patch that David invented over 20 years ago when he was working with the Navy SEALs. He invented it for them. And of course, from there went on and did all his clinical studies and research at Stanford University with the USA Olympic swim team before starting LifeWave. So that patch is fantastic. It's also amazing for the lymphatic system. You know, we see today a lot of people have sluggish lymph. That causes a lot of problems in the body. Sometimes lack of exercise is the problem. We got to have more movement in our days and our nights, but being able to turn over that lymphatic system, that's our drainage system, getting the toxins out of the body is really important. So we have that benefit from energy enhancer as well. And then on the opposite end of that is silent nights. And silent nights works similarly as far as triggering a process in the body to be able to elevate your own melatonin and working in the brain to be able to help reset that circadian rhythm. And so that's why it is a nighttime patch, of course. And using specific acupuncture points, acupressure points with that patch is really important to help to activate that process. So sometimes people notice something from first patch with the silent nights, and sometimes it takes 30 days. We're all very different. And of course, we all have very different sleep habits and patterns and rhythms. So being able to get the, the deepest sleep, the longest quality of sleep is the most important. And sometimes that takes a little bit of time, and sometimes people notice it right off the bat. The other patch, you mentioned Nirvana, and that patch is not available globally right now. So I'm not going to go into that one, but the other patch we do have is SP6. And SP6 is a patch that will balance the endocrine system. And of course, that is a set of glands and organs responsible for keeping your hormones in balance, which really trickle to every aspect in your body. And so the SP6, again, triggers a process in the body, working with the body's biofield on the spleen meridian to be able to help reset and balance that endocrine system. And we do see with people in our studies changes as early as 7 days in the improvement of the functionality of their endocrine system. So if you think thyroid and adrenals, that's what most people think of. But we do have, full improvement in the adrenal or in the endocrine system, as well as organs. We can see great benefits in gut health with the SP6 as well, too, in our clinical studies.
Thank you.
Wonderful.
You are welcome.
Yeah, thank you. Well, from all our students, teachers, mentors of the School of the Heart, friends, from Kumara and myself, a big, big thank you to Dr. Staci for her time and this incredible explanation and presentation. Of course, we are going to put a couple of links where you will find everything you want to try. I strongly advise you to try at least this combination that I'm using right now, by the way. The Aeon is right here on my, I don't know if you can see it.
Yep,
Yes, we see it.
It's right here. So I really advise you, ladies and gentlemen, try also this one and the cream. It's really good. And yeah, I think we are going to invite Dr. Staci a couple of more times.
I would love that. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.